So I'm Harry Beck with Velocify. I'm the VP of Biz Dev there. And we're located in El Segundo, but we have regional offices everywhere. And as she mentioned, we are in the lead management sales acceleration space. And today we're going to be kind of talking about a growing trend in the inside sales world, which is the growth of inbound sales. So inside sales teams are growing at a ridiculous pace today, and there's a number of reasons for that. But as you can see, with a study that we did with the Harvard Business Group, inside sales teams are growing at more than double the pace of outside sales. And it's the fastest growing kind of sales area out of all the areas, whether it be channel sales, internet, or field sales. It's by far the fastest growing segment of businesses. And part of the reason why that is depends on what stage your business is at, right? Whether you're pre-revenue, you're always, pre-revenue, you're like, I can't afford a sales team. I don't have the budget to put a lot of guys on the phones to be able to generate revenue. Or you're kind of in the growth stage, which is I don't have enough leads to feed my sales team and that sort of things. Or you're in maturity, which is I've figured out how to generate leads. I figured out how to drive them. I figured out how to feed my sales teams, but we're neglecting them, right? So with the advent of tools like marketing automation and just internet advertising and SEO, SEM, there's more and more leads that maturing companies are solving to drive revenue. So the solution is, depending on your stage, if you're pre-revenue, the numbers are undeniable, right? So an outside sales team, the average cost per lead is actually, or cost per call is $308. In an inside sales team, it's $50. So big difference from an economic perspective when you're in that early stage. Kind of in the growth stage, you switch to, you're starting to drive a little bit more leads, but you don't have enough to fill the pipe for a growing sales team. So you then typically bring on an outbound sales team. So this is your typical cold calling. You're bringing in lists, you're bringing in named accounts, and you're targeting a team on outbound prospecting activities to grow the pipe. And then in the maturity stage, the inbound sales team is really focused on trying to manage all the leads that they have. But at this stage, you usually have a more mature sales team. They have a number of activities. They're producing contracts. They're trying to respond to all the leads that are coming in. And that becomes more and more difficult to do the more sophisticated an organization gets. So the outbound versus the inbound approach has different goals, right? So where outbound, it's high call volume, lots of contacts and background data. So you're trying to feed this information to people making outbound prospecting call to kind of prepare them to engage with a prospect, right? So you're looking at LinkedIn, you're looking at their websites, you're going through the executive pages on the About Us pages of their websites before you're making a call. So it's a pretty slow process, and you have to prepare for each call. The main tools for those are obvious, right? CRM, things like Salesforce and Sugar and the others, and then a contact database, and a lot of times a dialer. The inbound sales piece is slightly different, right? So you have these inbound leads that are coming through, whether you're buying leads or you're generating through marketing automation, SEO, SEM. How do I get those right leads to the right reps at the right time? How quickly can I put a rep in touch with a particular lead? And then how do I optimize my contact strategy to make sure, one, that all the money that you're investing in generating this lead volume is being handled in an appropriate way, meaning things aren't getting dropped, things are getting missed. And the tools there are CRM for managing existing relationships, the marketing automation kind of on the front end, and then a solution similar to Velocify, which kind of sits between the marketing automation piece, and the CRM, in bridging that divide to help drive a speed to contact. So today, the most sophisticated sales organizations have kind of a blend of both of these strategies, right? So inbound lead development reps are handling lead volumes, and the outbound business development reps are making outbound prospecting calls. So they're blending these two strategies. And what happens is, traditionally, the lead development reps are feeding the majority of the deals that are coming through to the inside sales team. They're pre-qualifying these opportunities, and the ones that are slightly larger, longer sales cycle are going to the field sales team. But generally speaking, when you're driving leads and manufacturing interest in your business, a lot of the leads that are coming in off the web forms are typically smaller, more transactional kind of business. So as you're building and evolving your company, and you start to invest in a business development rep, they're starting to feed your field sales teams. And the way that companies are doing this today is they'll take a targeted account list and they'll give each field rep 100 accounts that they need to go land. And then they'll work with their inside BDRs, business development reps, and as in a partnership to say, okay, I need you to find the right contacts in here. I need you to soften the beaches and get appointments, that sort of thing. So they're typically feeding the field sales executives, and then once in a while they'll find some internal teams. So this is a lot of work to do, and yet kind of that journey, right? Pre-revenue, growth stage, and into maturity phases. The way that companies are building their sales teams today that help feed the pipeline of sales reps, right? Because you need to train people on your product, you need to get them up to speed, you need to develop the skill set and kind of the common knowledge of your business. You need to feed that into your organization. And companies today are hiring kind of greener reps and putting them in as the lead development rep. And they'll generally keep these folks in the position for about a year to 18 months before they're promoted up to the business development reps, who are then there for anywhere from 1 to 2 years. And based on their success, they're promoting them to the inside sales executives where they'll spend 2 years. And this gives them a lot of time to be able to do a bunch of deals. And if you recall, these types of folks are handling smaller, more transactional type of business. And so as they cut their teeth and they're learning how to close business, negotiate contracts, that sort of thing, they're building up their reservoir of experience before one of two things happens. Somebody convinces them it's a good idea to go into sales leadership, or they want to get promoted to the field sales team and work on much larger deals. And it's very common for the folks that go into the field that if they made it this far, they're usually going to stay with the company for somewhere between 2 to 4 years. And then they end up, ending up in sales leadership at some point. So that's kind of the framework of where sales teams have kind of been developing over the past few years, kind of in this new age of generating lots of leads and that sort of thing. So get to the task at hand here. What are the 4 golden rules of inbound sales? The first one is you need to distribute wisely. So you're generating this massive amount of leads than ever before. And the typical way that people try to manage their leads, which I think is going to go to the way of the past pretty soon, is they normally organize them by geo-territories, or they have assigned accounts in some cases, or they're just organizing them by industry, or they just chuck them into a queue that just will distribute those round robin. The best practices for the best performing companies in converting leads is they actually route the leads to the reps most likely to convert the business based on past performance. So this is skills-based routing. John converts leads in Louisiana at 80% clip than anyone else on my floor. I want to get that lead into his hands as quickly as possible. And if you have systems in place to understand metrics down to the rep level and understand who does what the best, you can actually distribute these leads based on these new things. It doesn't matter where they are or how how the lead came into your world. The goal is to convert that into an opportunity and then on down the sales funnel. So the second thing is follow up fast. I know this is a bit of an eye chart here, but really what you need to know is this came out of a CRM lead response research that we did. And on the far left in the green is people who have followed up within minutes and seconds. In the center, it's hours and days in orange. And then in red, you see weeks or no calls at all. And for those of you who work for organizations that are spending big marketing budgets to drive leads, that bar on the far right is just completely unacceptable and a waste of money. So the best practices, just to kind of illustrate, based on some of this research, or a lot of this research that we did, we've touched probably 100 million leads over the past 8 years. And we've had our data scientists hard at work to see, okay, what leads are converting, when, and how, how best are they converting? Speed to contact is everything. So on the far left, you see you have a 390% chance of converting a lead if you touch it in under a minute. By minute 3, you only have a 98% chance. So these kind of inbound leads that we're talking about are probably one of the most depreciating assets on the planet. I mean, after minute 3, it's 98% from 390%. And then you go to the far right, you're talking about 24 hours, you have a 17% chance of converting a lead that's a day old. So think about how many leads, and I'm sure you guys have gone shopping for one thing or another, and it's taken a couple of days for people to call you back. You're in a different mindset. You may have already found somebody that picked up your call first time, or maybe somebody called you back within the first 10 minutes of the lead being submitted. But it's tremendously valuable to follow up as quickly as you can to figure out how to do that. So the third one is you need to stay persistent, but there's a fine line between staying persistent and doing your diligence and following up on the lead but not harassing someone. The last thing you want to do is pester somebody that obviously does not want to talk to you. So on the far left, in the kind of the orange, or the far left, there's that bar again, no calls at all, so that's terrible. But the orange bars to the left there are somebody who made 1 to 4 attempts. It's pretty good. The appropriate persistence level is 5 to 7 phone calls, depending on what industry you're in. And then to the right of the green bars are people who have been trying too much. And that red bar at the end are people who received 12 calls or more. So again, this is based off of a research study that we did in conjunction with one of our partners to determine the ultimate contact strategy. And so we submitted a lead, and then we tracked the response rates, if there was one at all. So the best practice is, out of all the data that we've crunched, 93% of all your leads that are going to convert would have converted at 6 calls. So we suggest a 6-call contact strategy in general. It varies slightly by industry, but on average it's 6 calls. So anything over that, you're going to kind of experience the law of diminishing returns. And then fewer than 6 is just not enough because your conversion rates can actually be higher. So, but calling is not the only way to get in touch with these leads. So we actually suggest involving all channels. So calls, emails, a consistent follow-up strategy, and then actually adding SMS or texting. And all of that, it's not uncommon for our clients to see an 8 times conversion rate when they employ all of these things. So it's actually real revenue. The fourth one is to optimize and automate if you can. So the dark line here, you see a natural bell curve on a traditional sales team. You kind of have your A players, your B players, and your C players. And you're constantly trying to figure out, what are these A guys doing that's making them so successful? How do we give that information and that training to the B players and make them perform? If you can optimize and automate, you can actually shift that curve to the right and actually have far more better performing reps. So we did some research on the way that people are enforcing sales contact strategies in the sales process. On the far left, if they have none, they're 72% likely to hit their target. And if they have an automated and enforced sales process, it's far greater at 86%. So I'm not sure if you're following the best practices, but hopefully there's something here that can certainly help you guys. One of the things that we're doing with Twilio, and we've been a partner with Twilio for a long time. They've been a tremendous asset to our company. We use them internally, obviously. And then we also built our product to have an integrated dialer. So solving for the inbound and outbound sales teams that we were kind of discussing, we're able to optimize the contact strategy. So that speed to contact piece, Twilio helps us deliver, connecting with these clients very, very quickly. So an inbound lead comes in, we can get lead on the phone within a matter of 3 seconds in a lot of cases. So you fill out a form, you're getting a phone call. We have inbound capability where if they call in, our dialer will receive that, understand who the best rep is to receive that lead, and distribute it to an available agent that has the skills to handle that lead very, very quickly. And once they have them on the phone, they enable transfer capabilities and that sort of thing. The most exciting thing that we've done in the last 6 months was we launched a product called Local Presence. Not sure if you guys have heard this concept before, but we're receiving leads from all over the country. And let's say somebody comes in from New York at a 212 area code, and they would like a call back. We can get that phone ringing back to a customer in New York from the 415 area code here in San Francisco, and actually provision in real time a local phone number to dial that New York phone number back. So they're going to get a call sitting here in San Francisco from a 212 area code. That increases the pickup rate or the contact rate by up to 50% sometimes. 57 is the highest one of our clients have seen. So it's a significant feature in our dialer, and we do that today through Twilio. So give you an example, eHarmony is a client of ours, and they're using our dialer that we built on Twilio. They're using our lead management software, and within the first 60 days, or within the first 60 days, they've increased their sales by 58%. And they attribute this solely to building a contact strategy, enforcing it, and be able to dial very quickly their clients. So some great success there, and actually some more recent numbers that Salesforce just did a blog on eHarmony. And I think now that they're 5 months into it, it's 158%, not just 58, which is great. Great success for them. I think that's, and this is another technology company that we implemented about a year ago November. And when we implemented Velocify, their conversion rate was about 2%. 7 months later, they saw 6.5 times conversion just by implementing some of these best practices that we talked about today. So it's super powerful stuff. A lot of the research that I quickly ran through here on these slides is available to anyone on our website. So there's a URL. You can go pick up this research that we've done with our internal research staff, as well as some other partners, including Harvard Business Review and Point Logic and others that we do a ton of research, ton of white papers, and we consider ourselves a thought leader in this space. So go check it out if you have any questions there. And if you need to get in touch with me, you can give me a shout, shoot me an email, or find me on Twitter. That's it. Happy to answer any questions if anyone has any quickly. Yes?
Harry, you talked about that multi-channel strategy, email, calls, and SMS. I imagine that RAS people use all of them full force.
Sure.
Is there a best practice around that? I mean, I don't like to be called, but I do want to be contacted right away.
Absolutely.
Any thoughts around that?
Yeah, definitely. So it varies by industry. And we actually have some best practice templates that include a call strategy, email strategy, and even an SMS strategy if you want to employ it. And for example, just a general contact strategy is 6 calls, 5 emails, and 3 texts over 28 days. So it's at varying intervals. And then that's some of the domain knowledge that we bring to our clients. And we understand, what their business is all about. And then we recommend a contact strategy, and then they can tweak it at any time to kind of fine tune it if necessary. Yeah. Great question. Yeah.
You talked a little bit about choosing the best agent for each lead. What are
Yeah.
some attributes that you look at to choose the best agent?
Well, we have about 150 different variables that we can key off of. A lot of times it might be skills, like people are certified in a certain product category. That's important. We're tracking performance, like how are they converting leads in the past? Are they in the top quartile, bottom quartile, what have you? And we're taking, our system also has the ability to ingest outside data like marketing automation scores and other proxies to see how good a lead is. And so you want to take the greatest leads and get them to the most capable people, because you don't want a guy who's a day and a half on the job getting your best leads yet, because he just doesn't know what he doesn't know. So there's a multitude of factors, but what I think the point is that there's probably a better strategy than just saying like this zip code or this area. I think we can be a lot more intelligent about it today. Yeah, good question. Anyone else? Yes.
One of the same questions we asked, that how much of this is the recommendation that you give is automatic, and how much is basically configured by the admins?
So we have, our implementation teams have best practice templates for certain verticals, and so they can make a recommendation, but they also learn about the way that you currently run your business, and they can make educated recommendations about how to best institute a contact strategy for your business. Yes?
What are the stats in the implementation of the strategy? Is that good? All for B2B and B2C, or is it mostly B2B?
Yep.
How does it?
Good question. The CRM study was mostly B2B. And then a couple of the other numbers earlier in the presentation were actually B2C. So we kind of cover both areas. Yep. All right. Thank you, guys.
Great. Thank you, Harry.